Hello, this is Richard with RSWatchWorks. For this project, I had a returning client ask me to build something a little unique. He wanted a GMT build with the new Seiko GMT movement, but he wanted it to pay homage to his toy Poodles. I said I'm always up for a good challenge, let's do it. Besides, who wouldn't want to do a Poodle build? We went back and forth on design a little bit, until we found something that he really liked. This next design is my personal favorite, for obvious reasons, but the client said he wanted something a little more tasteful, so this is what we ended up settling on. I ordered up some parts and waited a few weeks. The courier arrived, parts in hand, and I was ready to hit the bench. The first step of a clean watch build is a clean bench, so off we go cleaning it up a bit. It's very important that your workstation be clean of any dust and debris that could find its way into the movement or the watch case. Now we're ready to build. For this build, I'm using the new Seiko NH34 movement. This movement is really quite excellent and punches way above its price point in terms of features. True GMT functionality and Seiko reliability in an affordable package. Next up is a 40mm sub-style SKX conversion case, a sub-style bezel, some super luminous Mercedes hands, a super luminous GMT hand, a sub-style crown, a slim stainless steel case back, a brushed stainless steel chapter ring, a sloped ceramic bezel insert, white on black, and a double dome sapphire crystal with clear anti-reflective coating. This crystal is made specifically for use with sloped bezel inserts. It has a step that allows the two to fit together. Regular crystals don't work with sloped inserts. And the star of the show, I partner with a dial maker who can make quite literally anything, including a Poodle dial. This one turned out really amazing. I'm a huge fan of black enamel dials. Under a crystal, it really makes a nice black hole effect. They tend to just look amazing. With everything here, we're ready to start building. The first step is ensuring the movement is in good health and keeping good time. This movement is, so I do not need to manually regulate it. It's actually keeping time to Swiss COSC standards. Now we can apply the dial washer. The NH34 requires a dial washer. Most Seiko movements do not. Now we can apply the dial, being careful not to damage or smudge the delicate black enamel. A fresh pair of finger cots is a must when handling a dial. Now we make sure that the dial feet are in their respective holes, that the dial is flush and mostly centered. You can make small adjustments by just applying force to the dial in whatever direction is necessary. Now that the dial is seated, we're ready to place the movement in my old faithful movement holder. This thing has seen a lot of use. I don't know how many thousands of movements I've put through this thing. Now that it's seated, I can begin the process of slowly working the movement until the date wheel kicks over. That way we can apply the hands exactly at midnight. Right there. Now I can apply the hands, starting with the GMT hand. The hand is carefully pressed on, ensuring not too much force is applied. Proper alignment is checked and adjusted as necessary to ensure an evenly spaced hand stack. Now that we have the GMT hand on, next comes the hour hand. These are gold-plated brass tweezers specifically designed to reduce marring on soft hand surfaces. Again, the hand is pressed on using the applicable tool. And alignment checked and adjusted. My personal method is to rotate the hour hand down to the 6 o'clock position before applying the minutes hand. Some watchmakers apply hands all in one stack, but I prefer this method. Precise application here and alignment is critical to ensure that the hands point where they're supposed to. The NH series movements have a little play in the gears, but generally you can get pretty close. Alignment looks good. We have proper clearance. Now we'll clean any smudges or debris from the dial and hands before we apply the second sand. The second sand is lowered into position onto the post and carefully pressed down. A quick check of the alignment and our hands are on and ready to go. As I mentioned before, cleanliness is very important. Here we clean the hands of any smudging. A lot of the time hands come smudged right out of the package. A little bit of Rodico is all you need to remove smudges. Looking good and ready to be cased up. Now I do a little cleaning of the case. If you haven't noticed yet, cleaning is a recurring theme in watchmaking. Any dust left in any of these recessed grooves will end up living in the watch forever. Now we can apply our chapter ring. There's a small key that must fit into the groove in the case to keep a chapter ring from rotating. Here's our crystal again, ready for installation. And with a crystal, we need a crystal gasket. So we'll apply it and gently massage it in place to ensure proper seating. And a little more cleaning, of course. Now we can press the crystal into place. I like to use a screw down press and rotate the case and crystal multiple times to ensure even seating. There are a variety of presses on the market, but I'm fond of just these simple screw down presses. And there we are, properly seated. Use a little compressed air to blow the case out to ensure again that there's no dust. And now we're almost ready for the big moment. We just need to remove the winding stem by pressing a small lever on the back of the movement. And here we go. This is where we can see things start to come together. Now we're ready to cut the stem so the excess is measured, cut, filed, and cleaned up. Now we're ready for our case back O-ring. To ensure water resistance and proper slippage when the case back is tightened, the O-ring is lubricated with silicone grease. Now it's ready to be carefully installed in its groove. The O-ring must be properly seated to avoid pinching when the case back is tightened. A little cleaning up on the threads of our case back and some compressed air, and we're ready to apply. Now I like to use a rubber ball to begin tightening the case back. Now we're ready to tighten it fully. I always use plastic to protect these metal surfaces. No one wants to get a brand new watch and find that the back is marred. Now that the case is hermetically sealed, we can work on the outside components. Starting with the bezel, which is pressed in place. I always love this sound. We Because it's a GMT watch, we need the bezel to be bidirectional, so we didn't use any click spring here. It's just a friction fit. Now we're ready for our bezel insert. You can tell I've been working on watches with click bezels for some time because I line it up out of force of habit. It doesn't actually matter on this watch. And here it is, the finished product. This is a good looking watch. And of course, a quick function test to make sure everything's working as intended. And there it is, the Poodle Master GMT. A big thank you for watching, I do hope you enjoyed it. And a big thank you to my clients over the years for all the trust and support. I do offer build services, modification works, and a number of curated watches on my website and Etsy. If you're interested in having your watch modified or building something special like this project, please do reach out. My contact info will be in the description. Please subscribe and hit that like button, and stay tuned for more fun builds.